One of the first steps you need to take to protect your trade secret asset is to explain to whoever is involved in the creation or development of those trade secrets that the information they have access to was actually defined by the company as strategic and important, and then ask them to behave accordingly. Remember the taco restaurant owner? If Raoul had explained to his cook that the recipe was a trade secret taken from his great-grandfather and passed down the generations, and that any use of it outside the restaurant would ruin the business, and if his cook had acknowledged his understanding of this and confirmed that he'd received access to the recipe, then chances are that the cook would have thought twice before taking the recipe and opening a competing business. This is what you need to do with the people who have access to your trade secrets. You want to make sure that every person who has access to sensitive information confirms that he or she has been given access and acknowledges that copying, sharing, or transferring such trade secret will cause damage to the company. Now, they're not signing anything that represents new information to them. They don't need their attorney to review the confirmation. They could if they wanted to, but if they have signed an employment agreement, then they have already agreed to all of that. You are simply making them aware that they have been granted access to trade secret. And this is very powerful, because you are changing something in their perspective that will stay with them when they decide to leave. So how do you do that? How do you ask your key employees who are exposed to trade secrets to sign a confirmation? Well, you don't just send them an email with an attachment. This may be unexpected, sudden, or create confusion. You want to be sensitive about this request. And this is one of the most critical things that you can take from here. Some of your employees have a lot of experience and know-how. They're aware of it. Start with an update on some of the things the company has been doing in the area of IP. Then ask for their cooperation. Tell them that the company has identified specific information as IP that is very valuable to the company. This they may already know because they've been part of this process. Otherwise, tell them that you've been advised by your patent attorneys or lawyers that some of the information in the company should be protected as trade secrets. Tell them that to demonstrate that the company is the owner of this strategic information, the company needs to show that it has taken the necessary steps to keep the information secure and to make sure that every person who has access to such information or trade secret has signed a confirmation to that effect. This is also where you want to use this opportunity to empower them and share the company's strategy with them. You want to acknowledge the contribution of each person that you talk to. Emphasize that you or the management are aware that they have a lot of experience and know-how and that their career will develop further. You want to mention that you're not trying to limit them in any way, shape, or form, but simply to define the company's asset. And then finally, you mention that they will receive a simple and basic confirmation in this matter and let them know that you are there for any question. To visualize what we're trying to do here, look at this key shape image. Let's say that there is a lot of know-how and assets and sensitive strategic information in the company, and it's represented by the red and blue areas that you see on the screen. Some of this know-how is in your people's head. They will walk away with all of their know-how when they leave their job, unless you are able to differentiate between what they walk away with and what should remain in the company, and actually tell them that this is the case. They will need to be reassured that you're not limiting their future freedom, except in relation to what the company has defined as trade secrets, and you could mention that you realize the company does not own everything in their head, and that will be reassuring as well. Now, why is this important? From the company's side, there will be less of a crisis when an employee leaves. You want to give them the tools to protect your IP, and the responsibility is yours to do so. From the side of the employee who leaves the company, they will gain an understanding of their right and what they should avoid doing that might inadvertently cause legal trouble. Establishing this understanding early on is much more effective than trying to do so in the dramatic context or awkward moment when the employee is leaving their job. You are simply sharing the company's strategy with them and communicating what the company needs from them. At the same time, you're giving them a tool they will appreciate over time. You're explaining what the company sees as its assets so that when they leave, they understand what the company expects them to do. This way, when they leave, all you have to do is remind them that you've already briefed them on the subject and that you expect and trust them to continue with their obligation to maintain the secrecy of your information. Now, to make things easier and take the guesswork of how to speak to your employees, we have prepared a couple of things that you can use immediately. A script that you can use as a basis for talking to whoever is exposed to your trade secrets, which you can tweak as you see fit. Read it before you speak to your employees. We have also prepared a confirmation document ready for you to put before your employees to sign. All you have to do is insert the information that we've provided to you in our one-on-one session, add your company logo to it, and ask them to sign it. Good luck, and let us know if you have any questions or need our assistance.